The first few moments are a blur. Unrecognizable faces in a crowded room, the muffled sound of hushed voices, and the heavy weight of an unseen tension that lingers in the air. Then, a piercing scream cuts through the fog, sending chills down the spine. It's a woman's voice, desperate, pleading, before everything suddenly goes still. The room erupts into a frenzy of movement, but it's too late. A figure lies motionless on the floor, the dark crimson stain spreading beneath them like ink blurring across paper. There's no escape now. The chaos is already set in motion. As the camera zooms in on the blood pooling around the body, the dread sets in. This is no accident. It was meant to happen. But who and why? All the answers lie in the shadows, just beyond the reach of light. A network of watchers, hidden in plain sight, waits for the story to unfold. And it's just begun. The phone call feels like an eternity. The voice on the other end is frantic, struggling to form words. It's too late. I don't know what happened. It was just supposed to be a game, just a bit of fun. Now she's... The voice cuts off, replaced by the sound of heavy breathing, as if the speaker is gasping for air. The fear is palpable. From the corner of the room, a figure stands watching, the expression unreadable. His gaze flickers between the phone and the body, his fingers twitching at his side as if deciding whether to act. His eyes, cold and calculating, reveal nothing about his intentions. As the chaos around him continues, a question lingers in the air. Was this all part of the plan? Or is this the moment where everything begins to unravel? The tension in the room thickens. People begin to whisper in hushed tones, unsure of what to do next. One person steps forward, their face contorted in disbelief. We have to call someone, we need help. But no one moves. The camera pans slowly across the room, capturing the disbelief, the shock, the fear. It's as though the very air has been sucked out, and all that remains is the oppressive weight of impending consequences. The sound of sirens in the distance grows louder, but still, no one acts. The victim remains lifeless, a grim reminder of what happens when a game goes too far. The figure in the corner shifts slightly, their eyes never leaving the body, as if waiting for the right moment to speak. But the moment never comes. They turn and exit the room without a word. Outside, the world continues to spin, oblivious to the horror unfolding inside. A car drives by, its tires cutting through the wet pavement, its headlights flashing against the cold night air. Inside, a few figures begin to stir, their faces pale and haunted by what they've witnessed. The silence is broken only by the occasional rustle of clothes or the shuffle of feet as they gather their things. One person moves toward the door, glancing back once more at the body, as if trying to make sense of the scene. We need to talk to someone, they murmur. But there is no one left to speak to. The figure steps out into the night, leaving the others behind. The camera lingers on the empty space, the silence overwhelming before fading into the darkness outside. The street outside is empty, save for the distant hum of traffic. The figure walks briskly, their face set in determination, but there's no relief to be found. Only the echoes of their own footsteps, the weight of what they've witnessed settling heavily on their shoulders. The camera follows, capturing the stillness of the night, the faint light from the street lamps casting long shadows across the pavement. In the distance, the sound of an approaching car grows louder, the lights slicing through the darkness. As it passes, the figure stops momentarily. A flicker of something, fear, dread, flashes in their eyes. The truth is out there, and it's only just begun. The following day, the world feels different to Anna. Every glance from a stranger seems charged with meaning. Every rustle in the wind feels like a whispered threat. She can't shake the image of the lifeless body, the red stains spreading further across the floor, the smell of it clinging to her memory. She keeps replaying the moment over and over, questioning her own role in it. Was she part of the reason it happened? The fear is suffocating, like a weight pressing against her chest that she can't escape. She tells herself it's just a coincidence, just a game gone wrong. But deep down, she knows that's a lie. Anna didn't hear the voice on the phone, but she knows it's connected to the network of people watching her. The pressure is growing, and with every passing hour, the feeling of being watched only intensifies. She can't trust anyone, not anymore. Anna leaves her apartment, walking briskly through the city streets. The world is moving around her, people walking past without a second glance, but she feels trapped in her own bubble of paranoia. Every car that passes feels like it's following her. Every person who crosses her path feels like they know something she doesn't. Her phone buzzes in her pocket, and her heart skips a beat. She hesitates before checking it, her thumb shaking as she unlocks the screen. It's a message. Just a string of numbers. Her stomach twists as she reads them again. The message is cryptic, yet something about it sends a chill down her spine. It's a countdown, a signal that they are closer than she thought. She grips the phone tightly, realizing that she is no longer safe. Whoever they are watching her, and she can't escape. That night, Anna barely sleeps. The message from earlier keeps replaying in her mind. She stares at the ceiling, her mind racing with questions. Who are they? What do they want from her? She feels like a pawn in a game she didn't agree to, her every move being watched, her every breath monitored. Her phone buzzes again, breaking the silence of her room. She jumps, her heart hammering in her chest. This time, it's a photo, a picture of her, taken through the window of her apartment. The shock of it makes her stomach churn. How long have they been watching her? How much do they know? She pulls the curtains shut, trying to hide from the eyes that feel like they are everywhere. But she knows it's useless. The fear is suffocating, and there's no way out. She feels trapped, alone in her own life, with nowhere to turn. Anna's mind races, trying to piece together what's happening. She starts looking through her past, searching for anything that might explain why she's being targeted. There's nothing obvious, no past enemies, no strange connections, no sign of a secret life she never knew about. But then, a chilling thought crosses her mind. What if this isn't about her? What if she's just a means to an end, a tool in someone else's larger plan? She tries to make sense of the cryptic numbers, the eerie silence that follows them, but every theory she comes up with feels like it could be the wrong one. Her anxiety grows with each passing hour. She's no longer sure who she can trust, or even if she can trust herself. The only certainty is the feeling that she's being hunted, and the realization that she's powerless to stop it. The next day, Anna receives another message. This one isn't cryptic. It's direct. We know what you've been hiding. Her blood runs cold as she reads the words. She hasn't shared anything with anyone. There's no way they could know her secrets unless they've been watching her for much longer than she realized. The paranoia tightens its grip on her, making it difficult to breathe. She leaves her apartment once again, trying to clear her head, but the world feels alien. She feels like she's walking through a dream, a nightmare that she can't wake up from. Everywhere she goes, she feels eyes on her. The feeling of being watched intensifies with every step. The only thing she can think about is getting away, fleeing somewhere far, far away. But she knows it's useless. There's no escape. The network has already found her, and it's only a matter of time before they close in. Anna's life is slowly spiraling out of control. Every time she tries to step forward, she's pulled back by the invisible hands of her unseen pursuers. She hasn't heard from the mysterious network in a few days, and she's starting to feel like she's losing her grip. But just as she's beginning to think it might be over, she receives an unexpected message, one from someone she thought she could trust. Mark.1. He was one of the few people Anna had confided in about the strange happenings. The message is simple but chilling. We need to talk. Meet me at the old diner 2 p.m. Anna's stomach twists with unease. She thought Mark was on her side, but the message feels off. There's a sense of urgency in his words, and something about it doesn't sit right. She knows she has to go, but she's terrified of what might be waiting for her there. The diner is empty when Anna arrives. The flickering neon sign outside casts an eerie glow, but the inside is even worse, dark with only a single dim light hanging above the table. Mark isn't there yet, and Anna's pulse quickens. She sits at the booth he suggested, her fingers tapping nervously on the table, her gaze darting to the door every time it creaks open. The silence in the diner is deafening, amplifying every footstep, every breath. She tries to shake the feeling of being watched, but it's impossible. The sense of unease tightens around her chest. After what feels like an eternity, the door opens, and Mark steps inside. But something is wrong. His face is tense, his eyes darting around the room as if looking for someone. He doesn't seem like himself, and his gaze flickers nervously to Anna as he sits down across from her. "We need to leave," he whispers, his voice barely audible. "It's not safe here." Mark's warning does little to ease Anna's anxiety. The situation is unraveling too quickly. She leans forward, her voice barely above a whisper. "What's going on, Mark? Who are they? What do they want from me?" He hesitates, looking over his shoulder again, his eyes widening in fear. "They're not just watching you, Anna. They're using you," he confesses, his voice shaky. "I thought I could stop it, but now it's too late." His words send a chill down her spine, and the world around her suddenly feels smaller, more suffocating. She can't make sense of what he's saying, but the terror in his eyes is undeniable. There's more to this than she's been led to believe. Mark stands abruptly, as if something unseen is closing in on them. "We have to go now," he urges, but before Anna can react, the door bursts open. A group of men, their faces concealed by masks, rushes in, and Anna knows this was a trap. The men in masks storm the diner, their heavy footsteps echoing as they approach the booth. Mark is already moving, grabbing Anna's wrist and pulling her towards the back exit. Panic surges through Anna's veins as she stumbles behind him, trying to keep up. She doesn't know who these people are, but she can feel their eyes on her, cold, calculating, and dangerous. As they reach the back door, a loud crash resonates from the front of the diner. The men are getting closer. Mark's grip tightens, but Anna can see the fear in his eyes now too. "We have to move faster," he urges. They push through the door, entering a narrow alleyway lit by flickering street lamps. The cold night air hits Anna's face, but the chill in her bones isn't from the weather. It's the realization that she's been dragged into something far bigger than she could have ever imagined. The network is closing in, and there's no way out. Anna and Mark reach a dead end in the alley, their breaths ragged and hearts pounding. The walls of the alley seem to close in around them, and Anna feels the weight of the situation press down on her chest. Mark pulls out his phone, his hands trembling as he tries to send a message, but before he can finish, the sound of approaching footsteps halts him. The men are here. They're close. Anna looks at Mark, desperation flooding her veins. "What do we do now?" she whispers, her voice barely audible. Mark shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret. "There's nothing left to do. They'll come for us, no matter where we go." His words hit her like a slap, and the realization settles in. She's not just a pawn anymore. She's the target. She is the key to something, and those behind the network will stop at nothing to get to her. The footsteps grow louder, and in that moment, Anna knows escape isn't an option. Anna's heart is pounding in her chest as she stares at the approaching figures in the alley. The world feels like it's closing in around her, suffocating her. But then in the distance a faint sound cuts through the tension, the screech of tires on the wet pavement. Before she can react, a black SUV speeds around the corner, pulling to a halt in front of them. The men in the alley freeze, their masks still in place, eyes flickering between Anna and the vehicle. The door opens, and a familiar figure steps out, Agent Ward, the one person Anna never expected to see again. His eyes meet hers, and for a moment time seems to stand still. Ward's gaze is cold, calculating. "Get in," he says, his voice firm but laced with something Anna can't quite read. Confusion and fear ripple through her as Mark tenses beside her, his hand still gripping hers. This is not the help she was expecting, but she has no choice. The network is closing in, and Ward might be the only way out. Anna's mind races as Ward ushers her and Mark into the SUV. "They know about you," Ward says flatly, his eyes locked onto the rearview mirror as he drives, not bothering to look at them. And they know I'm involved. The words hang in the air like a sentence. Anna wants to scream, to demand answers, but she can't bring herself to. Instead, she turns to Mark, her voice trembling. Why didn't you tell me? What is this? Why are they after me? Mark is silent, his hands gripping the seat, his face pale and drawn. Ward's gaze flickers to the rearview mirror once more, but it's clear he's not in a talking mood. The SUV speeds through the city streets, weaving through traffic as Anna's pulse spikes. I'm not sure how much time we have, Ward adds quietly, his voice suddenly grave. They've been watching you for years, Anna. And now they want you as a pawn in their game. The drive takes them out of the city, deeper into an industrial area. The buildings grow sparse, the streets empty. A sense of isolation settles over the car as they pull into a small, heavily guarded compound. Ward's eyes narrow as they pass the security gate, the cameras above tracking their every move. You'll be safe here, he says, his voice hard but guarded. For now. Anna barely processes the words. She's still reeling from the shock of Ward's revelation. Years? She's been watched for years? She feels her world slipping further out of her grasp. As the SUV stops in front of a nondescript warehouse, Ward turns to her. There's a lot you don't know, Anna, but you need to hear it now. He opens the door and steps out, but Anna doesn't move. What's going on, Ward? She demands, her voice shaking. What have I gotten myself into? Anna and Mark follow Ward into the warehouse, the cold metallic scent of the place sending chills down Anna's spine. As they walk deeper into the building, Anna begins to see the scale of what she's stepped into. Screens, monitors, and servers line the walls. It's a high-tech operation, and it feels more like a command center than a place of safety. Ward leads them to a small, dimly lit room at the back, where a man waits. He's older, with graying hair and a stern expression, and his presence immediately fills the room with tension. This is Jonathan, Ward says briefly, introducing him. He's the one who's been keeping an eye on you. The words hit Anna like a punch to the gut. You? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper, but Jonathan doesn't answer. Instead, he slides a folder across the table. It's time you knew the truth, Anna. Jonathan flips open the folder, revealing pictures of Anna, taken at various points in her life. Childhood photos. Recent ones. Each one meticulously detailed, as if someone had been following her every move. You were never just a regular person, Jonathan explains, his voice low and steady. Your family was involved in something far bigger, a network that has been in the shadows for years. We've been keeping you under surveillance because you have something they want. Anna's heart races as she flips through the pictures. My family, she repeats, the words not quite fitting into her mind. What are you talking about? Ward steps forward, his face more serious than she's ever seen it. Your parents were part of the original group. The network was created decades ago, Anna. But your parents went rogue. They tried to shut it down, but they didn't succeed. Anna's breath catches in her throat as the weight of the revelation crashes down on her. Everything she thought she knew about her past is a lie. Anna stands in the cold, dimly lit room, the weight of the truth pressing down on her chest. Jonathan's words echo in her mind, but the pieces don't fit together. Her family, involved in a shadowy network? The idea feels surreal, like something from a nightmare. You're telling me my parents were part of this? Anna asks, her voice trembling. Jonathan nods slowly, a somber expression on his face. They weren't just involved, they were leaders. Your father in particular was a key player. The shock sends waves through Anna, her head spinning. She had always known her parents were distant, but to think they had been part of something so dark, something that had been pulling strings for decades, it's too much. She takes a step back, her eyes wide with disbelief. Why didn't you tell me sooner, she demands. Ward, standing behind her, looks at her with pity. You weren't ready to know, he mutters, almost to himself. But now, you have no choice. Anna's mind races as she tries to process everything she's learned. The truth about her parents, the network, the surveillance, it's all too much. Her breath quickens, and for a moment she feels like she might suffocate under the weight of it. I'm just a pawn, aren't I? She says, her voice barely a whisper. Ward looks at her, his face grim. You've always been more than that, Anna. But the network won't see you as anything else. Not now, not ever. Anna stumbles back, her knees weakening as the room spins around her. So, this is it? They want to use me as a tool in their game? And you've just been watching me this whole time? She turns to Ward, her eyes filled with tears, her voice breaking. What happened to my family? To my parents? Ward steps forward, his expression hard. They tried to stop it, and they paid the price. The words hang in the air, heavy and suffocating. The silence is deafening. Anna's mind whirls with everything she's just learned, but there's no time to process it. From outside, the sound of approaching footsteps fills the room, heavy and deliberate. A voice calls from the doorway. She's here. The door bursts open, and a figure steps inside. Anna's heart stops. It's her mother, alive, standing in front of her after all these years. Anna stares in disbelief, unable to form words. Her mother's face is cold, calculating, but there's a sadness in her eyes that Anna can't ignore. You've been part of this from the beginning, haven't you? Anna demands, her voice raw with emotion. Her mother's eyes flicker with something, guilt? Regret? But she doesn't answer. Instead, she steps forward, her voice low and steady. I had no choice. None of us did. The truth crashes down on Anna like a wave. Her mother isn't just a victim, she's a key player in this network. Why didn't you come for me? Anna finally says, her voice breaking as the flood of emotions overwhelms her. Her mother steps closer, her face softening for a brief moment. I wanted to, she whispers. But it was too dangerous. The network had eyes everywhere, and I couldn't protect you from it. I tried to distance myself, to live quietly, but they never let me go. Anna's anger flares again. So you just let me grow up alone in the dark? You let me think you were dead? All for what? To protect yourself? Her mother's expression hardens, but the flicker of pain in her eyes doesn't disappear. I had to survive. We all did. But now, you're in this, Anna. There's no getting out. Anna's stomach twists at the thought. She's in too deep. The network is too powerful. I don't care what you say, she spits, her eyes blazing. I'm not part of this, not anymore. The tension in the room is palpable. Anna can feel the weight of her choices pressing on her, suffocating her. But there's no turning back now. The network is too close. They're coming for her. For all of them. I have to stop this, she says firmly, her voice shaking but resolute. I can't let them win. Ward steps forward, his eyes locking onto hers. You can't do this alone, it's too dangerous. But Anna doesn't hesitate. I don't care. I'm not a pawn anymore. I'm taking control. She turns toward the door, her resolve hardening. You can stay here, or you can help me, but I'm ending this. Her mother's voice calls out softly, but Anna doesn't look back. Anna. But it's too late. She's already made her decision. There's no turning back now. Anna stands on the edge of the building, staring out at the sprawling city before her. The wind tugs at her hair, and the distant sounds of sirens and car engines fill the air. But it feels distant, like the world she once knew. The weight of her decisions presses on her, but she knows there's no going back now. The fight is no longer just about survival. It's about stopping the network from controlling anyone else, from manipulating people the way they manipulated her family. The warehouse raid had been a success, thanks to the information from Mark and the help of Ward. But she's learned that the deeper she digs, the more she uncovers. There's a bigger network at play, far-reaching, and it will take more than just one person to dismantle it. But Anna is determined. She can't undo the past, but she can stop the future from being written by people who think they can control everything. The pieces of her family's legacy are hers to destroy. The plan to take down the remaining members of the network has begun. Anna's fingers fly across the keyboard, sending out encrypted messages to those she trusts. Ward, Mark, and a handful of allies have all rallied together, each playing a crucial part in the intricate web she's now trying to untangle. But as she hits send on the final message, her phone buzzes. It's a text. A single line of text. "We know what you're doing, Anna." Her blood runs cold as she stares at the words, the reality of the situation hitting her like a punch to the gut. The network isn't just aware of her actions. They're anticipating them. They always have. "You won't get away with this." The message is clear. No matter what she does, they're always watching. Her heart races, but this time, Anna doesn't flinch. She won't let fear control her. She has one shot at this, and she's taking it. The next few days blur into a haze of secrecy and strategy. Every movement feels dangerous, every word spoken like a whispered secret. Anna's team has begun to dismantle the network from the inside, exposing its key members one by one. It's a slow burn, each victory small, but significant. But as the pieces fall into place, Anna starts to sense a shift. Something is off. The attacks from the network are getting more aggressive. The threats are no longer just messages. They're showing up at her doorstep, knocking on her door, watching her every move. In one moment, the truth hits her with brutal clarity. The network isn't just some faceless organization. It's personal. They want her. They want her dead. The realization sends a chill down her spine, but Anna doesn't hesitate. She's come this far. There's no turning back now. The final showdown is near. Anna and her team have tracked the last remnants of the network to an abandoned facility on the outskirts of the city. It's a stark, desolate place, a crumbling warehouse surrounded by tall fences, the air thick with dust and decay. As Anna stands in front of the facility, her heart pounds in her chest. This is it, the end of the road. She knows that whatever happens next, it will change everything. Ward, Mark, and the others are waiting for her inside, ready to do whatever it takes to bring down the network. But Anna's thoughts are with her parents, her legacy. They died fighting for something they believed in. She won't let that sacrifice be in vain. She steps forward, her jaw clenched in resolve. "Let's finish this," she says, her voice steady. And with that, they enter the building, ready to face whatever awaits them. The battle within the facility is fierce, a whirlwind of noise, movement, and chaos. The final pieces of the network are taken down, one by one, until only a few remain, corrupt individuals who had hidden behind the veil of secrecy for far too long. As the last of the opposition falls, Anna stands in the center of the room, her chest heaving with exertion. The air is thick with the aftermath of the confrontation. The weight of the past few weeks crashes down on her, but there's a sense of relief, of finality. The network is no longer a threat. It has been dismantled, piece by piece. But as she stands there, catching her breath, Anna knows there's still work to be done. The city may be free of the network, but its impact will last. Her fight isn't over. But for now, she's won. The days after the network's collapse feel surreal to Anna. The world around her has shifted in ways she can hardly comprehend. The shadows that once lurked in every corner, the constant feeling of being watched, are gone. But with the silence comes the weight of everything she's lost. Her parents, the life she thought she knew, none of it is real anymore. The freedom she fought for doesn't come without its scars. As Anna walks through the empty streets of the city, the weight of her decisions presses on her. But there's also a glimmer of hope now. For the first time in years, she feels like she can breathe. She has no illusions that everything will be easy from here on out. The world is still dangerous, but she knows now that she can face it. She may not have all the answers, but she's learned that she can shape her own future. She's free. As Anna sits in the small apartment that has become her new home, she stares out the window, her thoughts a swirl of reflection and anticipation. The city outside seems both familiar and foreign to her now, a symbol of everything she's fought for. She knows the network's shadow will never fully disappear, but she refuses to let it dictate her life. Mark has gone back to his life, working with a new sense of purpose. Ward has remained in the background, a silent guardian. though Anna doesn't fully trust him yet. The world is shifting, and she's not sure where her place in it is anymore. But for the first time she feels like she can make her own decisions. She's not a puppet, and she's not the product of some legacy. She's Anna, free to define her own path. Later that evening, Anna receives an unexpected visitor. The doorbell rings, and when she opens it, there's Mark, standing there with a hesitant expression. "I didn't know where else to go," he says, his voice thick with uncertainty. Anna steps aside to let him in. "I figured you'd come eventually," she says, offering him a small, weary smile. Mark looks around the apartment, taking in the quiet, the stillness. "How are you holding up?" he asks, his tone softer than usual. Anna shrugs, but there's a sadness in her eyes. "I'm alive," she says simply. The two stand there for a moment, the weight of their shared history hanging in the air between them. "I'm not sure what comes next," Anna admits, "but at least I know who I am now." Mark nods, the uncertainty still there, but he doesn't leave. There's an unspoken understanding between them. They've both been through too much to walk away from each other now. As the weeks go by, Anna starts to rebuild her life, piece by piece. The weight of the past no longer consumes her, though its echoes still haunt her at times. She keeps busy, working with a new group of allies who have dedicated themselves to rooting out corruption and preventing others from falling into the same traps she did. But there's still something missing. One day, as she walks into the park, the soft sound of children laughing fills the air, and she feels a strange sense of loss. The world is healing, but Anna knows it will never be the same. She's changed too much. The city that once felt so suffocating now feels like a place of possibility. There are days when she feels overwhelmed by the enormity of it all, but she knows she'll keep fighting. For herself, for the world that needs healing. "I can do this," she whispers under her breath, a quiet promise to herself. And for the first time in a long while, she believes it. The final moment is simple, a quiet reflection of everything Anna has fought for. As the city skyline fades into the background of her window, Anna leans back, her eyes closed, taking a deep breath. There's peace in the silence now, but there's still work to be done. The network is no longer an immediate threat, but its influence lingers in the cracks of society, and Anna knows it. She's not done yet. The battle may be over, but the fight for freedom, for truth, is an ongoing one. In the distance, she hears the faint sound of a child's toy rolling across the floor. An innocent sound, but one that stirs something inside her. She opens her eyes, stands, and walks to the window. As she looks out at the city once more, a whisper escapes her lips. "I'll make sure it never happens again." The city hums below her, alive with possibility, but Anna knows that her role in it is far from finished. The journey continues.